Welcome to another episode of the Meal Prep Monday podcast. I'm your host and founder of Prep Dish, Allison Schaaf. Welcome to 2024. I am really excited to be sitting down talking with all of you today. I'm always excited about a new year, but I'm especially excited today just kicking off 2024 and January in particular. Here at Prep Dish, we have a lot of cool things planned for this month. The main theme and topic for this month is going to be protein. So that's what I'm going to be talking about on today's episode. And it's something, though, it's not completely new and unexpected to me. This is something we've been working on behind the scenes for the past kind of several months of 2023. I feel like I kept seeing protein come up a lot on my radar, and I don't even want to call it a trend. I don't think protein is a quote unquote trend. I do think it's having a bit of a moment, you might say. But, in 2023, I did do several surveys on Facebook and Instagram. Just wanted to check in with our subscribers and, anyone interested in Prep Dish and see, what are your thoughts on protein? Is this something that you're actively working to, increase your protein intake, and see where everyone stood on the topic? And I was actually blown away at how many people were very actively interested in, increasing their protein intake and seeing the benefits of having, more increased intake in their diet in protein, especially at breakfast. So this was always in the back of my mind. And then as I talked about in the last episode, for this year of 2024, we're going to be sprinkling in some interviews to see how that goes. So I'm really excited to introduce you to some of those guests. And as I was doing a few of these interviews in advance back in 2023, one topic that I had a few nutrition focused interviews, and without giving them, I honestly didn't give them a lot of direction in terms of topic of what I wanted to talk about. I asked what they were interested in talking about, a few things that maybe I thought our listeners would like to hear us go deeper into. And it just sort of organically came out that two of those episodes really centered around this idea of protein. And, already knowing that in my mind, I wanted to somehow center some of our January work around protein. It just kind of came together. Honestly, usually I'm very intentional about these things, but it was crazy how well it just came together. So, you have today's episode is solo with me, but the next two episodes after this are actually going to be interviews where we're going to talk more specifically into nutrition and in some form dive a little bit deeper into protein. I also, wanted to see why this interest and went in. So I have two books. I'll make sure and link everything in the show notes as always. But two books that I started digging deeper into as well as we went through this little, journey into protein. One is Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. She has a book, Forever Strong. I highly recommend this book. It's great for, just understanding more about getting strong. That's something I have been focused on with my weight training, but really goes into the science. She's really well researched and evidence-based, as well as Dr. Attia. And his book is Outlive. It's really on longevity and the secret to longevity. And there's a lot of themes that actually cross over that both him and Dr. Lyon talk about in terms of, and one of those being, protein intake, and also, the importance of strength training and, a lot of other topics. They're both really comprehensive books. I'm not going to do a full book review on today's episode. I more want to just kind of talk about what we have coming here, in the upcoming weeks. The biggest one being, so in looking at this, I came to my team and I was thinking, what can we do to really talk about this here at Prep Dish? And at first, my meal plan editor actually really pushed back and said, look, I think our plans all are, could all fit, right? They all are pretty protein rich, especially our paleo meal plans. So we started there just like looking at our meal plans. And a lot of times the recommendation, and again, there can be more individualized numbers, and don't take this as advice, but in general, a number that is thrown out there a lot is kind of a baseline goal for protein grams per meal is 30 grams. And a lot of our meals do hit that mark. So especially again, the paleo ones, those are the menus we looked at. But then I also know so many of you really love the super fast plans. I am also in that camp. I am a big fan of super fast, just with the season of life I'm in with the little kids. And, so those are the plans I'm using at my house most of the time and from just people I've heard from. And sometimes I do find myself just increasing the amount of protein or meat that's called for in those recipes. And not even because, I'm not sitting down calculating protein grams, but in doing this research, I did become more interested of like, well, am I hitting this goal? And like, what does it take to hit this goal? And it's not a hard goal to hit, but I did notice with our super fast plans, some of them hit the mark, some of them don't. Now, by me doubling the meat, that's pretty much always going to then hit the mark. Sometimes the vegetarian plans take a little more tweaking to get to those numbers. But as I got more into it, I just got excited to bring something kind of new and fun and exciting for January to, all of our existing subscribers. When I was posting about this, in our Facebook group, people really seemed to be excited about it as well. And so I actually, instead of delegating this project out, I just really got into it. And I went out and hand created these menus that I wanted to see. I was like, I have this vision and this is just a January bonus. This is a special that we're doing just for this month. But I created these basically super fast menus. Each of them are protein rich. You're going to hit your protein goals. But the thing that I tweaked about them is I included a breakfast option for each of these weeks. Now, the breakfast options are really something for the most part. If you don't want to use it as breakfast, it's, there's some frittata, there's, things like that. They're a little heartier. So a lot of the breakfast options could double as like an extra dinner if you wanted it to, or as a lunch. It doesn't have to be quote unquote breakfast. But the reason I included the breakfast option is the theme that came up in my interviews and in just like doing more of this research into protein is the importance of getting enough protein at breakfast. And that is also where I hear about people struggling is to how do I fit in protein at breakfast? I think in general with the American diet and the way many of our plates are composed, dinner, it's a little easier, right? Like a lot of times there is a protein on your dinner plate, but I think by that point, and again, this is kind of getting into some of the interview content, but it's really important to kind of front load that protein throughout the day so that you're kind of maximizing the benefits from that. So that's why I wanted to make sure, and I think it was one of the interviews she even said, because she sees one-on-one clients and just mentioned that people really struggled with how to get enough protein at breakfast. And so with these meal plans, I really crunched the numbers. I tweaked recipes to just make sure, hey, here is 4 solid dinner options and a really good breakfast option that can hit that mark every single time on that protein goal. So if you're wanting to make sure you have enough protein this month, use these meal plans. It's all done for you. Kind of like that Prep Dish promise of you don't even have to think about it. I don't want you out there counting grams of protein or doing any of that. It's like, hey, here's the exact instructions. Follow this and you'll hit your goal every time. So that's the idea. So there's 4 weeks that we're going to be releasing. It's for any of our Prep Dish subscribers. So if you're already a subscriber, it doesn't matter which level you're at. You'll just have to make sure and keep your eye on the Friday emails because it's only going to be included in the Friday email. If you've been wanting to sign up for our free trial, this is a great time to do it because you can get these menus as a part of that free trial. Right now, we don't know for sure the plans with these meal plans, but the thought is we will probably put them together as a standalone product. But if you sign up now, you can get them for free. So it's kind of a good way to do that. But those are what we have available. I had so much fun putting them together, making sure that they were really, all the things that Prep Dish stands for in terms of efficiency. But I really tried to look at it as, if someone's been wanting to try Prep Dish and they really want to be efficient with their meal prep, how do I have, use have double use for ingredients? How do I really take that prep time so it's only an hour? It's not too complicated. You're in and out of the kitchen as fast as possible, but still having these delicious, tasty meals your whole family will eat. So these are meant to be family friendly, even if the rest of your family, is not looking to focus on their protein, it still works. And then the breakfast is meant to be like a big bulk thing that you can make at the beginning of the week and then has 5 servings. So then it's like you could eat that throughout the week. But again, it's flexible to do, however it works with you and your family. So that's what we have coming up for January are these really special protein boost meal plans. I'm just so thrilled about them. I'm excited to continue to use them. I'm probably going to make them again, even though I've tested most of these recipes out in my family this month. Just, I put a lot of work into them. It's been a while since I have been this hands-on with the meal plans, and it was really a lot of fun for me to play around with that and tweak them and get them to exactly what I think people are wanting right now in terms of help in the kitchen and getting started with this. So those meal plans are there. If you haven't done the free trial or if you're not a subscriber, it's prepdish.com/MPM, short for Meal Prep Monday, and you get 2 weeks for free. So you could get, 2 of these plans for free and then see if it's something you want to continue doing. So that's what we have for January. And in the interviews, we're going to get more into the actual, benefits of protein and talk more about that. And then later this month, I'm going to do one of the episodes is going to be ideas for hitting that 30-gram mark at breakfast. And then the other one is going to be some ideas for lunch options, because I know sometimes it can be a struggle to figure that out. So I just want to go through a list of like, hey, here's some ideas that you can put on repeat to make sure you're hitting your goals. So that is all I have for today. Again, I'm really excited for this month, really excited for all of you to get your hands on these meal plans. Let me know what you think. If you're already a subscriber, as always, just get into that Facebook group, give me your feedback. Very excited to see how these meal plans are received. And, as always, you'll have access to all the other plans at Prep Dish. And again, some of those already are hitting the 30 grams of protein, but these are just a little special bonus that we're offering for the month of January. That is all I have for this week. I will be back again next Monday with our first interview.